So, Willie, I'm thinking back. We've had, let's see, Barack Obama on the show, of course. My all-time favorite, Billy Graham. We had Billy Graham on. That was a huge day for me. But there are all these gets that we've had in the morning show. Tom Hanks. My gosh, I'm getting bigger than that. I have to ask you though. You got to get, and I'm not. I don't know how you did it.
It's a Morning Joe exclusive.
It is a Morning Joe. Well, actually, no. I saw it on the Today Show yesterday.
It's an NBC exclusive. Oh, no, he was on Sunday morning. Anyway, it's my dad.
Do you know what?
It is.
It is a Friday morning.
That's it.
At 8:44.
Put up the bug. That's exactly
Never before at 8:44 on this Friday morning.
So, yes, my dad, Bill Geist, who a lot of you know from his 31 years on CBS Sunday morning and as a columnist in the New York Times, is out with a new book. It's called Lake of the Ozarks. It tells the story of his high school and college summers, going from his relatively quiet life in Champaign, Illinois, to work at his big, spirited, big personality Uncle Ed's Arrowhead Lodge at Lake of the Ozarks in Missouri, and how that shaped the guy you've seen on TV all these years.
In the summer of 1960, my skinny 15-year-old father arrived at Lake of the Ozarks, ready to indulge in the pleasures of a Midwestern vacation paradise.
And what do you remember about your first time seeing the lake?
My friend and I thought it was going to be speedboats and girls in bikinis and being a lifeguard, whatever, wild. And I got down there and they gave us a couple of shovels and some boots and pointed us out to the open-air septic system.
That cesspool out behind Arrowhead Lodge was known affectionately and rather descriptively as the chili pond.
Did you have protective?
No, they didn't have protective anything back then.
You put like a bandana over your face?
No, we weren't into protection. That was considered unmanly.
For 7 summers, my dad was an employee of his larger-than-life Uncle Ed, an Army colonel in World War II who gave the orders around the lodge.
He was like born to be a big shot. And he barked more than he talked. He'd like bark orders at you, and he'd drink scotch when he got up from his nap, and he'd drink scotch at night. He drank a lot of scotch. The intimidation was a big thing. Although whenever he fired somebody, they just wouldn't leave. So it wasn't real effective being a bully.
He probably forgot that he fired him anyway.
Yeah, by the name. Yeah.
Uncle Ed and life at the lake felt like a million miles from my dad's comparatively sleepy existence back home in Champaign, Illinois.
What was it like driving around Lake of the Ozarks, riding shotgun in his big car with him?
He had 2 Cadillacs a year, a convertible in the summer, so you just feel like a dream. You're in a dream. The big tires, you're floating so smoothly. I thought it was kind of how people must get around in heaven.
My dad eventually was promoted to bellhop and occasionally was forced into kitchen duty.
On some nights, when the Chef Glenn, we'd walk by the pool and we'd notice he was laid out by the pool.
Had too many to drink.
He had a lot to drink every day, and some days it was just too much. He couldn't make it back to the kitchen. We knew when we saw that, we knew we were going to have to do some cooking.
Did you have any experience cooking prior?
We got a lot of complaints, and one of the waitresses said when the night was over, she said, "We made it, but I don't think we got any repeat customers."
Over a nearly 50-year career in print and on TV, my dad has told the stories of America's strangest characters. An appreciation he first gained at the lake.
We hadn't been to Disney World or any of these places. We saw a 5-legged deer was nothing to sneeze at. And it was, there are lots of these places leading up to gave you the strong sense you were not in Nantucket. Larry Albright was a souvenir king. His dream was to give rare Ozark seal tours.
I didn't realize there were seals.
No, I didn't either. He'd say get youngsters in brown suits.
And with a seal head on. The monkeys on bicycles was a big attraction.
Cars. They drove cars.
Oh, the monkeys drove cars.
Tom's Monkey Jungle.
All these stories that we've been talking about are hilarious. But even for me as your son, getting to the end of it, I went, oh, that's where this all started for him. That's where he fell in love with weird guys. And it created your sense of humor, but also gave you your career.
Something that lasted my whole life. I don't know if that's good or bad.
It's good. Worked out pretty well.
worked out pretty well.
Congrats, Dad.
Thanks.
Love you.
Love you too.
And a few people know that's the first time you two have ever told each other that you love each other. That's a first.
Let's do it on national television.
I know.
But it is a cool thing. You guys may have been through this, where you hear your dad's story and you realize where it all began. You know, he had a quiet life in Illinois where his sense of humor, people didn't get it or he wasn't appreciated. And then he walked through this door into the Lake of the Ozarks and discovered who he was. And it led him to meet his wife, and that's why I'm here, and his job and his career and the way people all know him all began at this place, the Lake of the Ozarks. And I think the reason the book is great and relatable is because everybody has some version of Lake of the Ozarks.
Yeah.
What was that place where it all began for you? So I'm so proud of my dad. A lot of people know he's had Parkinson's disease for almost 30 years. This is a book he's been thinking about and wanting to write for about 40 years. It's wonderful, and I'm so glad it's out in the world finally.
It's so exciting, and you know what? The world's glad it's out too. It's, top 10. I mean, it's doing extremely well.
It's a fun read, and it's a breezy read, and it'll be a good summer book too, I think.
And you've got Keanu Reeves on Sunday.
Keanu Reeves, Neo, good guy.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Mr. Anderson. Up next, President Trump tweeted this morning that there's no need to rush on a trade deal with China, and that appears to be rattling Wall Street. We're going to go live to the New York Stock Exchange. We're back.